Have you ever stopped to wonder if older adults in other parts of the world, places like Japan, Italy, or Thailand, experience the same quiet frustrations you do? You step out of a warm shower, put on fresh clothes, comb your hair, maybe even spritz a little fragrance. But still, a few hours later, there it is again. That faint, lingering scent you wish would just go away. It's not strong, it's not dirty, but it's unfamiliar. And most of all, it doesn't feel like you. Maybe you've asked yourself, am I missing something? Is this just part of getting older? Here's what I want you to know right away. You're not alone. And you're certainly not doing anything wrong. In fact, this isn't just a personal issue. It's not just an American issue. It's a human issue, a natural part of aging that happens to older adults around the world. Yes, even in Japan, where cleanliness is considered almost a spiritual practice, seniors face the same internal changes. Skin that gets drier, sweat glands that change, a natural compound called 2-non-enol that increases with age and creates that subtle old person odor no one likes to talk about. So if you've ever felt embarrassed, frustrated, or just quietly curious, know this: you are part of something much bigger than yourself. And that's exactly why today we're stepping outside our own backyard to take a look at how seniors in Japan approach body care differently. Because while the challenges are the same, their habits are a little different. And what they do may surprise you. They don't rely on perfumes or harsh soaps. They don't try to cover anything up. Instead, they focus on balance, gentleness, and small daily habits passed down through generations. Habits that keep them feeling clean, calm, and confident in their bodies. So in this video, we're not just talking about hygiene. We're talking about cultural wisdom, about what we can learn from those aging halfway across the world, who may be walking the same path, just in different shoes. Because no matter where we live, no matter how old we are, we all deserve to feel fresh, comfortable, and fully ourselves. It doesn't matter where you live, whether you're in a high-rise in New York City, a small home in rural Texas, or a quiet village in Japan, aging brings changes. And one of the most frustrating, yet least talked about, is this. You do everything right. You shower, you wear clean clothes, you wash your sheets. You might even switch soaps, try a new deodorant, or buy a fancier lotion. And still, as the day goes on, there's that familiar, nagging sensation, a scent, subtle, faint, but there, like a whisper that you can't quite name. You ask yourself quietly, is it me? Am I missing something? Did I forget to wash somewhere? And you wouldn't be the first person to wonder, because the truth is, this experience isn't limited to one person or one country. It's not about being American. It's not about being clean enough. It's simply part of the way the human body changes with age. Let's look at what's really happening. Around the age of 60 or so, our bodies begin to produce less oil through the skin. The medical term for that oil is sebum, and when we were younger, we had plenty of it. Sebum helped lock in moisture, protect the skin, and even carried our natural scent. But as it fades, the skin becomes drier and more vulnerable to irritation and bacterial growth, and that's where things shift. Alongside this change, the body begins to create more of a chemical called 2-non-enol. It's not harmful, it's not dirty, it's simply a byproduct of oxidized fatty acids on the skin. But here's the problem: 2-non-enol has a distinct odor. Some describe it as grassy, slightly greasy, or even metallic. Others just call it old person smell. Now imagine this: your body is producing more 2-non-enol than it did before. But your skin is drier, which means odors are more likely to sit on the surface. You sweat a little more in certain places, and you may not have the flexibility you once did to scrub every area thoroughly. It's not your fault. And it's not something you can just cover up with perfume or deodorant. It's biology. But here's the fascinating part. It's not just happening to you. In Japan, older adults experience it too. In Italy, in Brazil, in Germany, it's everywhere. Body odor after 60 is a global reality, but how we respond to it varies by culture. In the US, we often reach for products, antiperspirants, sprays, stronger soaps. We try to mask the scent. Sometimes that helps. Sometimes it makes it worse. especially for aging skin. In other cultures, like Japan, the approach is different. They don't see aging as something to fight, they see it as something to respect. And instead of trying to erase their scent with chemicals, they work gently through habits, routines, and diet to manage odor from the inside out. And that's what we're going to explore in this video. Not what's wrong with you, because nothing is, but what's working in other parts of the world and how you can borrow what fits your life. Because when you realize that this isn't just a personal issue, when you understand that seniors from Tokyo to Tennessee are all navigating the same quiet challenges, you feel less isolated. You feel less ashamed. You start to feel curious, not defeated. That's what this moment is about. Let's stop seeing this as something to hide and start seeing it as something we can understand, adapt to, and even grow from. Because aging isn't a flaw, it's a journey. And when you approach that journey with awareness and intention, you don't just stay clean, you stay confident. In Japan, personal care, especially in older age, isn't seen as something you do only when you go out. It's not rushed, and it's never just about appearance. It's about presence, about honoring your body with small, quiet actions every single day. While aging bodies in Japan face the same biological changes, less sebum, more 2-nonenal, dry skin, and reduced flexibility, the cultural response is beautifully different. They don't rely on heavy scents or aggressive soaps. They rely on ritual, softness, and deep attention to detail. Let's walk through how many Japanese seniors approach hygiene, not just as maintenance, but as a form of self-respect. 1. Bathing is a ritual, not a task in the US. We often associate showering with speed, in and out, 5 minutes, done. But in Japan, bathing is a calming event, often done at the end of the day to release stress, restore the body, and prepare for deep rest. Many Japanese elders soak in warm, not hot water, often with natural ingredients like rice, bran, green tea, or mineral salts. Why? Because hot water strips the skin of natural oils, while warm water helps relax muscles, open pores, and encourage gentle cleansing. It's not uncommon for them to sit on a small stool beside the tub, washing slowly and thoroughly from head to toe before even stepping into the water. Around the age of 60 or so, our bodies begin to produce less oil through the skin. The medical term for that oil is sebum, and when we were younger, we had plenty of it. Sebum helped lock in moisture, protect the skin, and even carried our natural scent. But as it fades, the skin becomes drier and more vulnerable to irritation and bacterial growth. And that's where things shift. Alongside this change, the body begins to create more of a chemical called 2-nonenal. It's not harmful, it's not dirty, it's simply a byproduct of oxidized fatty acids on the skin. But here's the problem. 2-nonenal has a distinct odor. Some describe it as grassy, slightly greasy, or even metallic. Others just call it old person smell. Now imagine this. Your body is producing more 2-nonenal than it did before, but your skin is drier, which means odors are more likely to sit on the surface. You sweat a little more in certain places, and you may not have the flexibility you once did to scrub every area thoroughly. It's not your fault, and it's not something you can just cover up with perfume or deodorant. It's biology. But here's the fascinating part. It's not just happening to you. In Japan, older adults experience it too. In Italy, in Brazil, in Germany, it's everywhere. Body odor after 60 is a global reality, but how we respond to it varies by culture. In the US, we often reach for products, antiperspirants, sprays, stronger soaps. We try to mask the scent. Sometimes that helps. Sometimes it makes it worse, especially for aging skin. In other cultures, like Japan, the approach is different. They don't see aging as something to fight. They see it as something to respect. And instead of trying to erase their scent with chemicals, they work gently through habits, routines, and diet to manage odor from the inside out. And that's what we're going to explore in this video. Not what's wrong with you, because nothing is, but what's working in other parts of the world and how you can borrow what fits your life. Because when you realize that this isn't just a personal issue, when you understand that seniors from Tokyo to Tennessee are all navigating the same quiet challenges, You feel less isolated. You feel less ashamed. You start to feel curious, not defeated. That's what this moment is about. Let's stop seeing this as something to hide and start seeing it as something we can understand, adapt to, and even grow from. Because aging isn't a flaw, it's a journey. And when you approach that journey with awareness and intention, you don't just stay clean, you stay confident. In Japan, personal care, especially in older age, isn't seen as something you do only when you go out. It's not rushed. And it's never just about appearance. It's about presence, about honoring your body with small, quiet actions every single day. While aging bodies in Japan face the same biological changes, less sebum, more tunnel, dry skin, and reduced flexibility, the cultural response is beautifully different. They don't rely on heavy scents or aggressive soaps. They rely on ritual, softness, and deep attention to detail. Let's walk through how many Japanese seniors approach hygiene, not just as maintenance, but as a form of self-respect. 1. Bathing is a ritual, not a task. In the US, and we often associate showering with speed. In and out, 5 minutes, done. But in Japan, bathing is a calming event, often done at the end of the day to release stress, restore the body, and prepare for deep rest. Many Japanese elders soak in warm, not hot water, often with natural ingredients like rice bran, green tea, or mineral salts. Why? Because hot water strips the skin of natural oils, while warm water helps relax muscles, open pores, and encourage gentle cleansing. It's not uncommon for them to sit on a small stool beside the tub, washing slowly and thoroughly from head to toe, before even stepping into the water. This method ensures no missed areas, no hurried scrubbing. It's full attention, especially to often neglected parts like the neck, ears, underarms, and feet. 2. The tools are simple but thoughtful. Instead of rough loofahs or synthetic sponges, many use a soft woven cloth called a salix or a cotton towel soaked in warm water. These allow for gentle exfoliation, just enough to remove old skin and oil buildup without irritating aging skin. Some seniors even use wooden-handled brushes with soft bristles to reach the back or legs more comfortably, especially if joint pain or stiffness limits mobility. 3. Drying is just as important as washing after bathing. Japanese elders take their time to pat the body completely dry, especially around skin folds, under the breasts, behind the knees, between the toes, and in other warm, moist areas. They don't rub, they press, gently. Sometimes they open windows or use small fans to let the skin breathe for a few minutes before dressing. Moisture is the enemy of freshness, and they know that. 4. Clothing. Choices are strategic. You'll often see older adults in Japan wearing cotton, linen, or bamboo-based fabrics. These aren't just for style, they're breathable, natural, and allow sweat to evaporate rather than get trapped. Loose-fitting layers help prevent friction and skin irritation. And importantly, they change clothes often, even if they haven't been outdoors, because they know odor lives in fabric, not just skin. 5. Cleanliness as a daily practice of dignity. There's a phrase in Japanese, "Seiketsu wa ishiki kara hajimaru." Cleanliness begins in the mind. This means hygiene isn't just about soap and water, it's about mindset. How you treat your body reflects how you feel about yourself. For many Japanese seniors, staying clean isn't about impressing others. It's about staying grounded. It's about honoring the body that has carried them through decades. Even the smallest habits, like rinsing the face with warm water in the morning, brushing off dead skin before bed, or massaging the scalp during shampoo, are done with intention. None of this is expensive. None of it requires special products or luxury treatments. It's not about perfection, it's about presence. And for older adults in Japan, those small, mindful choices add up to something powerful. A body that feels respected, skin that feels cared for, a scent that's clean, natural, and truly their own. Now the question becomes, what can we learn from this quiet, intentional way of caring for the aging body? Let's explore that next. Let's pause for a moment and reflect on something important. How we respond to body odor says a lot about how we see aging, not just individually, but culturally. In many Western countries, including the United States, we're taught from a young age that scent, especially body odor, is something to hide, mask, or eliminate entirely. The solution? Spray it, cover it, neutralize it with something floral, citrusy, or clinical. If something smells off, we often reach for perfumes, strong deodorants, antibacterial soaps, or even scented body lotions. The goal is often to smell like something else, anything but ourselves. But here's the quiet problem with that approach, especially as we age. Aging skin is thinner, drier, and more sensitive. Many products that promise to eliminate odor actually strip natural oils, which worsens dryness and invites irritation. Heavy scents can mix with the body's natural chemistry and sometimes make the odor more noticeable, not less. Most importantly, this approach teaches us that our natural scent is something to be ashamed of. Now compare that with what we see in Japan and in many traditional Eastern cultures. There, the focus isn't on masking odor, it's on minimizing it gently, by working with the body, not against it. Let's take a look at some key differences. 1. Western approach, covering the scent. In the West, the most common approach to aging-related body odor includes applying strong antiperspirants to block sweat entirely, using fragrance soaps and body washes that give a fresh smell but often dry the skin, buying deodorant sprays, powders, and perfumes to mask odor rather than address the source. Washing aggressively, sometimes with rough scrubbing tools or antibacterial cleansers, associating scent with cleanliness, and scentless skin with failure. The result? Short-term freshness, but often more long-term irritation, dry skin, and even embarrassment when the scent returns hours later. 2. Japanese approach, supporting the body. In contrast, Japanese seniors tend to focus on the foundation of hygiene. They cleanse with unscented, pH-balanced soaps designed for mature skin. They focus on specific areas where sweat and oil build up, like the nape of the neck, behind the ears, under the breasts, and in skin folds. Instead of blocking sweat, they manage it with light, breathable clothing and body powders made from natural ingredients. Their diets are designed to support internal freshness, more on that soon. They practice slower, more intentional bathing, which prevents the buildup of odor-causing bacteria. The message behind all of this is subtle, but powerful. You are not a problem to fix. You are a body to support. There's no shame in having a scent. The goal is simply to manage it with kindness. 3. Why this matters. Let's be clear. This isn't about saying one culture is better than the other. It's about asking what serves us best now, at this stage in life. Because what worked when we were 30, splashing on perfume and using strong body wash, may not be what our skin needs at 70. And if the old habits are causing more dryness, discomfort, or self-consciousness, maybe it's time to explore something softer, something slower, something that doesn't just remove the odor, but helps you feel more at ease in your own body. That's what the Japanese approach offers. It's not about hiding anything, it's about respecting everything. So as we continue this journey together, think about this. What if freshness didn't mean covering up who you are? What if it meant returning to balance? Because aging doesn't have to mean letting go of comfort or confidence. It just means finding new rhythms and new wisdom in the care you give yourself. Let's look at some of those habits next. So now you might be wondering, that all sounds beautiful, but I don't live in Japan. I don't have a soaking tub or soft bamboo towels. What can I actually do right here, right now, in my home? The answer? A lot more than you think, because while cultural habits vary, the principles behind Japanese senior hygiene are surprisingly simple and incredibly adaptable, no matter where you live. Let's explore a few habits you can begin today, drawn from the wisdom of Japanese elders, but tailored to your life. 1. Slow down your bathing routine, even by 2 minutes. You don't need a traditional Japanese bath to practice intentional hygiene. You just need to give yourself permission to slow down. Instead of rushing through your shower, try this. Sit on a safe bench or stool if standing is tiring. Use a soft washcloth or sponge, not a harsh loofah. Wash gently in circular motions, paying attention to spots we often miss. Behind the ears, the back of the neck, under the breasts, in skin folds and between the toes. Take your time rinsing. Let warm, not hot water help relax your skin and open your pores. This simple act of slowing down transforms your routine from getting clean to caring for yourself. 2. Switch to skin-friendly products. Most seniors in Japan use mild, fragrance-free soaps that are formulated for aging skin. You don't have to fly overseas to find similar ones here. Look for pH-balanced labels, soothing ingredients like oatmeal, aloe, or ceramides. Avoid anything labeled antibacterial, deep clean, or extra strength. These often dry or irritate sensitive skin. You might be surprised how much less odor your skin holds when it's not being stripped dry every day. 3. Focus on drying, really drying. One habit Japanese seniors excel at is drying their skin completely after bathing. Moisture is the perfect breeding ground for bacteria, and lingering moisture in folds or creases can be the hidden cause of odor. Here's what you can try. Pat dry gently with a soft towel. Pay special attention to the underbreast area, groin, belly folds, and toes. If needed, use a light cornstarch-based body powder, unscented in warm areas. Let your skin breathe for a few minutes before dressing. Even just 5 minutes of fresh air can help. 4. Choose breathable clothing. In Japan, many older adults prefer natural fibers like cotton, linen, or bamboo because they allow the skin to breathe and reduce sweat buildup. You can apply the same principle. Choose loose-fitting clothes, especially for lounging or sleeping. Avoid synthetic fabrics like polyester or nylon, which trap odor. Change your clothes daily, even if you didn't go anywhere. Fresh fabric equals fresher skin. It's not about being fancy, it's about being comfortable, clean, and confident. 5. Support your inside too. One of the most overlooked aspects of Japanese hygiene is diet and how it affects body odor. While we'll dive deeper into this in the next section, here are a few starter habits. Start your morning with warm water and lemon to support digestion. Eat more vegetables, rice, and light proteins like fish or tofu. Reduce processed foods and red meat when possible. Stay hydrated, not just with water, but with teas like green tea or barley tea, known to aid detoxification. Remember, what's happening on the outside often begins on the inside. 6. Give yourself grace. Most of all, what we can learn from the Japanese way is this. Caring for your body after 70 doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be intentional. Small changes, daily kindness, a bit more attention to the areas we forget. That's all it takes to shift from feeling self-conscious to feeling proud, because this isn't just about smell, it's about presence and peace, and you deserve both. There's something quietly powerful about realizing this. You're not the only one. That feeling, the uncertainty, the frustration, the subtle shame that sometimes creeps in when your body changes in ways you didn't expect, that's not a personal failure. It's part of being human. And more than that, it's something shared by millions of people around the world, in countries you may never have visited, speaking languages you've never heard, living lives that look very different on the surface. And yet they are walking the same path. They too step out of a warm bath, wondering if they missed a spot. They too hold their breath a little when someone leans in close. They too wonder if their scent has changed, if others notice, if it says something about them they don't want it to. Whether in Tokyo or Texas, Osaka or Ohio, that quiet question echoes, am I still me? And the answer is, yes, you are, but you're evolving. And that evolution doesn't make you less. It makes you wiser, more attuned, more able to care for yourself with the same gentleness you've shown to others for decades. Let's imagine this together. A 78-year-old woman in Kyoto lights incense in her home before her bath. She folds her towel neatly. She sits on a small stool, washing slowly, not because she's in a rush, but because she wants to show her body respect. Halfway across the world, a 74-year-old man in Michigan finishes his morning coffee, steps into the shower, and scrubs behind his ears a little longer than usual. Because yesterday he learned that's a spot he'd been missing. Different cultures, different routines, but the same instinct: to feel fresh, to feel good, to feel whole. Isn't that beautiful? It's easy to think that growing older means fading away, that our struggles are private, hidden, something to deal with quietly. But when you realize that someone across the ocean, someone you'll never meet, is tending to their aging body with care, just like you, it's comforting, it's grounding. It reminds you that you're part of something bigger than any one country or custom. You're part of the global story of growing older. And within that story, your comfort matters. Your dignity matters. Your daily choices matter. Because whether you grew up in a culture of scented lotions or silent rituals, whether your bathroom has a bidet or a bench, whether you use lavender soap or fragrance-free wipes, you're trying, you're learning, you're adjusting. And that in itself is something to be proud of. Let's let go of shame. Let's let go of the pressure to smell like a flower or to pretend our bodies haven't changed. Let's trade embarrassment for curiosity. Let's exchange judgment for wisdom. Because from what we've seen in Japan and America and everywhere in between, aging isn't a downfall. It's a shift, a new rhythm, and it deserves new kinds of care. So the next time you reach for a towel, a soap, or even just a thought about your body, pause, take a deep breath, and remember, you're not alone. You're not broken. You're not invisible. You are part of something universal, and you are worthy of fresh skin, clear confidence, and quiet pride every single day. Let's carry that forward. So now that we've explored the quiet truth about senior body odor, the wisdom of Japanese care, and the simple shifts that make a difference, let me leave you with something that's not a tip or a routine. It's an invitation, not to do more, not to chase perfection, but to care for yourself with a little more softness. Starting today, because the truth is, you don't need to overhaul your life. You don't need to become someone else. You don't need to throw away every product in your bathroom. You just need to notice. Notice the moments when your body asks for care. Notice the spots you might be skipping, not out of neglect, but out of habit. Notice how you feel after you take that extra minute to wash, or dry, or moisturize with intention. And then, act with kindness. Maybe it's wiping behind your ears today. Maybe it's letting your skin breathe a little longer before dressing. Maybe it's switching to a milder soap or drying between your toes more thoroughly. Maybe it's simply looking at yourself in the mirror and saying, "This body has carried me through so much. I will treat it with care." Because that's what this is really about. Not hygiene for hygiene's sake. Not looking or smelling a certain way to impress anyone. This is about comfort, dignity, peace. And if all you take from this video is the idea that you deserve to feel fresh and confident at any age, in any body, then that's enough. That's more than enough. You see, aging doesn't shrink you unless you let it. It doesn't take away your beauty or your worth unless you stop seeing it. And it doesn't erase your presence unless you start hiding it. So don't hide. Don't assume your body's betraying you. Don't accept discomfort as your new normal. And please don't believe the lie that body odor means you're unclean or undignified. Instead, get curious. Try one small habit this week, one gentle change. Not because you have to, but because you can, because you're worth it. And if this video made you feel seen, if you felt a little lighter, a little more understood, don't keep that to yourself. Share it with a friend, with a sibling, with someone who's been feeling the same way but hasn't said it out loud. Because this is bigger than soap and showers. This is about giving voice to what so many seniors carry silently. And if this channel can be a place where we say those quiet things out loud, then we're doing something meaningful together. So here's your next step if you want one. Like this video if it spoke to you. Subscribe if you want more honest, gentle, empowering conversations about senior wellness. And leave a comment Share your thoughts, your experiences, your favorite little habit that makes you feel fresh and proud. Let's learn from each other. Let's build something real here, because you are not alone, and you don't have to figure it all out by yourself. This is your time, not to be perfect, but to be present and to be proud.